screenshot here. That's the only thing that really took a bit to configure because I wanted to configure it on the AMG transfer order. And also I want the workflow to only apply to this transfer order page. So that was the only thing that was just a bit more work, but other than that, this works perfect. Let me show you an example. I'm gonna go to inventory and create transfer order. I'm gonna let it load. Yep. Okay. So as right now, as you can see, nothing changed on this form. But once I choose the AMG transfer order form, then you see a couple things happen. So your submit for approval is grayed out. Obviously, it's not going to show until you actually save the record because there's nothing to submit. Another thing that goes away is there's a order status. No one should be able to like manually approve this when you first even start. So that goes away. Also, these fields pop up and these fields are in line, so no one can change it. This is preset by your workflow. So let's go ahead and create one. And ACS test. Employee is a field that's mandatory right in your form, so you can set it to whatever it needs to be. But that's not really not going to affect your workflow. Workflow is actually going to look at who created the transfer order versus using this. And then for items, let me just pick an actually. I pick the locations first. Again, I'm picking just random locations. I don't really think it matters. But I just want to see what has inventory so I can transfer it. Like something like this. Okay, so let's say we transfer 10 pieces. Yeah, that's really it. So let's save this. So upon saving it, you'll see that the transfer creator and the next approver pop up. The transfer creator will be myself. The next approver will be my supervisor. I've added Molly as my supervisor for this one. And the approval status, I believe it will go to, yeah, it's still going to stay new until I submit for approval. Once I submit for approval, that will change into pending approval. So let that save. Oh, actually, no, the submit for approval, because I can make changes. There we go. I can make changes to this up until I submit for approval, so nothing really happens because I did this on purpose. Let's say you create the transfer order, but you're not ready yet to have it be firmed, and then you communicate to someone else, or someone else goes in and actually finalizes it. So they add a different item, they finalize it, they save their changes. Once it submits for approval, that's where it actually confirms who created the transfer order. So if Molly were to have started it, but then I actually complete it and firm it and I submit for approval, at that point I become the creator. And so then I'm the creator. Molly is my supervisor. She becomes next approver. The approval status then goes to pending approval.
Quick question.
And yeah, go ahead.
Just for some clarification. So
Yep,
anybody can create the transfer order, but it's the person who submits it for approval who actually gets logged down as the
as
TO
the
creator.
creator.
Okay,
100%. Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
And if they were to make a mistake, they can unsubmit for approval and I'll bring it back to the original state.
Okay.
So where it'll blank this out, and yeah, that's the
And
way for you to control who actually is a creator.
okay.
Okay. Again, I can see all these fields because I'm administrator and I have the clause that only admins can see everything. But if I were just the creator, not the admin, I would only see the unsubmit for approval. I would not see the approve or reject. So at this point in time, the next approver will be able to see the approve and reject. So they can go ahead and make that change or request that it gets changed. If they were to reject it, then it's going to pop up a window that requests them to put a rejection comment so the individual knows why was it rejected. So let's say this is a test, that's the reason it's rejected. If I click into it again, then I'll be able to go into the transfer order, and on the rejection log, I'll see, the comments. So rejection reason, when was it rejected, who rejected it, when was that created. There's also an email notification, and let me show you that too, which basically shows, oh, let me open it, which basically says this transfer order has been rejected. View record. It gives you a clickable link. That will be from the next approver to the TO creator. So that way TO creator is notified if something is rejected. Okay, once it's on rejected state, so rejected basically means that the transfer order is still pending approval. At that point, the creator can go in and make changes, so they'll have the edit ability and be able to resubmit for approval when ready. So when they resubmit for approval, it'll then go back to its pending approval box, wherein the next approver can go in and approve or reject. Again, I'm not going to reject it one more time because I'm just going through the same cycle. So next part is approve TO. So once the next approver goes in and approves this, again, it'll come up to approval record. I defaulted it to say approved just so that you can have a comment there because, again, you want to make sure that's consistent and gives you a record of when it approved. If they want to go more specific and add stuff to this, they more than can. But I think for the most part, they'll just want to have this approved comment saved there, so that gets logged on the transfer order. So on the transfer order, when I go to approval log, I can see it's been approved, what date has been approved, who approved it, when that approval was created. So at this point, they're able to fulfill the transfer order because it's been approved. The approval TO status will say approved. If they need to, and this edit button is again only available for me because I have admin, the TO creator will not be able to edit this. They can proceed to fulfill. But if they need to re-edit this, they'll reopen for changes. And that'll bring them back to square one because they're making changes again. So it'll bring back to TO approval new. They'll make the change they need to. They can submit for approval from there. And it goes back to pending approval. It needs to get approved to go forward from there afterwards. Yeah. So in this case, this got approved twice. Because there was a change made, it was requested to reopen. So that gets logged again. And they can move forward from here. That's the kind of basis of it. I can show you the workflow, how that works if you want to get technical, but
yeah, let's go ahead and roll through that too, just so I have a working knowledge of how you set it up.
Yeah, sorry. Transfer order approval. Oh, one last thing, even before I get here, because I did do the delegation. So let's go into employee record. Oh, actually, it's myself. No, it's Molly. Yeah. Okay, so Molly's my supervisor, but let's say Molly goes on vacation, then she should be able to delegate to someone. So I have what's called two transfer order delegates. If she has someone here, then while she's away, the transfer order delegate can go in and actually approve and reject. Those approve and reject buttons will be available for the delegate as well. Okay, so let's go back to kind of how this works. Initiations were basically I blank out the fields. I set the order to pending approval. I had the button submit for approval that's available, and then there was initially a button that says approve that was standard native NetSuite. I removed that so that would avoid confusion. Also disallow anybody to approve their stuff even before getting going. Next step is once you execute for approval, we set the transfer order creator and the transfer order approver, which the creator is the person who submitted for approval. The approver is the creator supervisor. This will immediately then go to pending approval, and we set the transfer order to be pending approval. We add the approve and reject button. This is only there for the transfer order approver, the transfer order delegate, or an administrator. Likewise for the reject. The what do you call it? The transfer order is in locked state. If someone needs to make a edit while it's locked, well then they can unsubmit so it goes back. But while it's in pending approval, no one should really be touching that until it gets approved or rejected.
Mm-hmm.
If they reject it, then it goes to rejected states. Again, it's locked for everyone except for the creator, because if it got rejected by an approver, then the creator needs to make changes and then resubmits. So that gets locked except for the creator. I have this go-to record, which basically forces the person who rejected it to specify rejection comments, and then the email goes to the creator saying that it's been rejected. Once they resubmit for approval, it comes back. They're thereby the the next approver can go in and approve. If they approve it, we have this kind of intermediate state where we have an email go out to the creator saying it's been approved. Intermediate step is needed to make sure that we have the right recipient and sender, the recipient being the creator, the sender being the approver. Once it gets to approved, we blank that out. We don't want to confuse the individual that there is a next approver. So we blank out the approver. We go to an approval record, which forces the approver to specify that it's been approved. Like have that record transparent there on the transfer order. And then we go in, we hide the next approver, because again, we don't want to confuse the individuals. We lock the record. Um, we mark the transfer order as approved. We put the transfer order in pending fulfillment state, meaning they can fulfill. And then we add the button reopen for changes. Reopen for changes is available for anyone in case it needs to be reopened. And then again, they'll go through the same process as normal to make changes and submit when needed. So that's the full cycle. Any questions with that? Did that make sense? Okay. Yeah. Um, Honestly, it's the same. Yeah, cause yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's because the groundwork's been laid. Like this process, I kind of mentioned I perfected this with across maybe 3 different customers, based on their feedback and what they wanted. And so, this is pretty much the same because all you really need to do is who's going to approve it. And so if who's going to approve it is going to be the supervisor, then that's that. If who's going to approve it is going to be a different individual, then let's add that individual in the employee record. Let's map that. That would be the only thing I would change. And correct. Yeah. 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 So what I like this workflow. I mean, I could repurpose this for purchase order, sales order, and journal entry. Because again, this type of control and process is pretty standard for these different transactions. Um, I haven't had, I think purchase order might be the only exception. So for the most part, everyone just wants a pro process that's pretty standard and vanilla. Purchase order is the only place that I've seen it kind of deviate with other customers. But again, we can always add that into the existing logic. So the only way I've seen it deviate is where they want, for example, if it's a certain amount, like let's say up to $100, get it auto approved. If it's 100 and above, then approve, or let's say 100 to 1,000 certain individuals, 1,000 to 10,000, a second one, 10,000 up to let's say top level. That's the only thing I've seen that's different. Other than that, everything else is the same. Like the feedback loop, the sending of emails, pretty much standard vanilla. Yeah. Let, yeah. Yeah. Let me show you a bit because I'm just gonna add these and delete these, like, because not gonna change much. Um, this stuff would stay the same. So let's say it was three-tier approval. They wanted everything like 1 to 1,000 to be a specific set of approvers, 1,000, another one, and then 10,000 up to another one. It would just be three blocks, but all feeding to pending approval afterwards. These three blocks would all just route it to the respective individuals. And if you need multi-tier, if you needed to go first to a specific set and then to another set, it's just two blocks and followed by pending approval. This part stays exactly the same. This part stays the same. It's just the who's going to approve it, the routing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, no worries. So have a go at it. Again, it's only going to affect that one form, which is AMG transfer order. So, that's the one you have to play with. And then in terms of employees, let's go back to myself. Well, first step is if you need to show the delegation is going to be on the approver. So the approver has the field to delegate under the custom tab. And then on my employee record, the specific creator has to have a supervisor show up. So I put Molly as my supervisor, but if that exists, then those two fields will populate on the transfer order. Okay. On this, no, because you have the fallback. So yeah, yeah, yeah. You have everything to fall back on. It's kind of all laid out here. So if you even have a question, just review this or let me know. Okay. Okay, perfect. No, no worries. The update available quantity. So I have good news and bad news. The good news is that we were able to redeploy the script as is. Um, and I saw these company-wide fields there, which were part of the request, but not the initial request. Like, I don't know, was this something that you created or was it our tech? I can't remember. Okay. Okay. That worked because I ran the update available quantity and it updated these fields, which were fields that I don't think our tech resource did. The other fields, the outbounds, those ones again should be working. I haven't actually had a chance to put those on. The inbound fields, I'm still working with the tech resource to put in. Again, I want to kind of apologize on that because it's been hard to get a hold of a tech resource to complete that part. I've been following up all the time, and no, I really kind of feel bad about it because it's been open for a while, and um, yeah, 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 yeah. No, I'm trying to be transparent with you too because I actually like working with you too. Um, the fact of the matter is, with this technical resource, it's not been a lack of communication. I've been communicating. I think there's some, I don't know if it's a language barrier, but there is a barrier where I've had a call with this technical resource. We've gone through it. He said he understood, and then he comes back with questions. I answer those questions, and then he comes back with other ones. And so I'm just like, I don't really understand what's the block because I'm answering these questions. And so he got back to me, what was it, yesterday, and he said, okay, well, I'll look into this. I have there's a holiday today in Uruguay, so he's off today, but tomorrow I've set a meeting to have a meeting to go through with him again today. Sorry, tomorrow. If I really see, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. No, no, we can. So that's the thing with, yeah, I would suggest that like, give me one more time, one more chance with the second resource, because again, I want to make sure that it's just, if it's a language barrier, I can get through it, because again, we're working towards the same goal. I really just want him to be able to create these fields, and it's working for outbound, it's working for company wide, so do the same for inbound. That shouldn't be that hard. Um, yeah. So I have a meeting scheduled tomorrow. Let me get through it. I was also going to escalate this internally with Molly, your sorry, delivery manager, to make sure we get traction on this quick. Um, I don't want to involve you yet, because again, I don't want to waste your time, and I only want to involve you when we have actual questions that affect the design. But this is internal. I'm gonna get this escalated internally, and I'll get feedback for again after tomorrow's call. This whole week I've been having back and forth with this technical resource, so it has been a lack of communication. It's just been some sort of blocker, which I'm gonna figure out with them. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Molly have a great relationship. We actually work on three different accounts, and we've worked together for what, 3 years, probably 4 years. So, let me see how it goes tomorrow. If not, I'll ping Molly right away and tell her, hey, we're having an issue because we're not getting traction with this individual. I again, I want to give this individual another chance to see if we get through it. If not, we're gonna have to see if we can get a different resource. Perfect. Yeah. No, no, and again, you're in all your rights, and I appreciate that, because that will get things escalated too. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Let Yeah, yeah. Let me have the, what time is it call tomorrow? I do want to give you an update tomorrow to just let you know, hey, this is look, I had a call and it looks like it's great. We're getting through the communication barrier. If not, I'll be like, okay, so we had a call. I'm not really too confident. I'm gonna have this escalated and see what we can do to either change the resource or have him, you know, just communicate with you and myself what is his concerns. Okay. So that's really it. And again, I did just press the button, see that the company wide did updates. So I know it works, and I know it works for company wide and for um the outbound. The inbound is the only one that's missing, which I'm trying to get completed. But I'll tomorrow, after tomorrow's call, I'll try to also force him to give me an update on timelines when this can get completed. So at least I give you an ETA of when we'll see this done. Okay. Yeah, no, again, thanks again for your patience on that and just understanding. But I mean, it is what it is. We with the technical resources, by far I haven't had issues because I'm also like as I'm personal with you, I'm personal with them, and that gives us a good working relationship. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I'm trying to see, like who, because I know you switched recently to Molly on your account. Um, okay, perfect. So yeah, Molly's great too. So no, she, yeah, yeah. Molly's very strong as a consultant. She also started branching out as a delivery manager, and there was a time where she was just delivery manager, and then she said, actually, I need to continue with some consulting work because then I'm getting detached from the product. So she handles both, which is great. I work with her like a lot on accounts because she's delivery manager for three of my accounts. I think four of my accounts as well. She's right now set as your delivery manager and your consultant for this account. But because of that, she can always pull me in when she needs to on cases. And again, things where it's my wheelhouse, like workflows, PDFs, um, anything to do with inventory, reports, safe searches. Like I'm all game on that. So stuff like that, she can pull me in right away, and I can work on this account for her. So if ever you need to, you can tell her to pull me in on cases. Yeah, perfect. Tell- yeah, yeah. Florian's moved up. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I want to say again because I like working with you. Tell this to Molly. Communicate to Molly because Molly can add me. Right now, I think I was just pulled in. Just as a support for this specific case. But tell Molly you like working with me. You want to add me to more cases. She'll add me as an additional resource to this account. That means that I can be pulled into it. Perfect. I mean, oh, okay, no worries. If she can do that, then she'll put me as primary on this account, and then I'm all yours. But if she can't, okay, but if she can't, she'll at least be able to add me as an additional resource, so she can pull me whenever she needs to. So yeah, you do have the power to do that. So just communicate that across, and she'll have no problem, and I have no problem as well. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. Perfect. No worries. Thanks again, Joshua, for your time. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks, Joshua. Thanks. Bye.